या अली मदद, या अली मदद, या अली मदद। बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। अल-हय्युल क़य्यूम, अली अल्लाह मदद फरमा। अल-वाहिदुल क़हार, अली अल्लाह मदद फरमा। या मौलाए मेहरबान, या मौलाए मेहरबान, तौफीक, ताईद, हिम्मत व यारी, तौफीक, ताईद, हिम्मत व यारी। या मौलाए मेहरबान, हमारी मदद फरमा ताकि हम कुछ इल्मी काम कर सके। मौला, तेरे ही मुबारक नाम से आज के इस सेशन का आगाज़ करते हैं। नूर मौलाना शाह करीम हुसैनी हाज़िर इमाम, हाज़िर इमाम, मदद फरमा, तौफीक, ताहीद, हिम्मत व यारी। तमाम साथियों को एक बार फिर या अली मदद। Today we will continue with our Jamat Khana session in the hope and with the prayers that all Jamat Khana will open soon throughout the country and inshallah throughout the world very soon. There are some Jamaat Khanas are opening every week, and inshallah soon all the Jamaat Khanas will open and we will be back to normal. This is our prayers and this is our wish that all of us are able to go to Jamaat Khana as we were before on the normal basis. We can go and have a prayers, ibadat, Jamaat Khana, dua, tasbiyat and other kiryas. In our previous 3 sessions, we had covered the purpose in our practices, but with a more detailed look. Today's session is also a 2-parted section. One this afternoon, and then we will try to finish it tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock session. So in today's session, we will cover the part of happiness. As we feel the joy in our heart, the happiness and pleasure in our heart, that very soon, we will be returning back to Jamaat Khana. So let's look at some of the irshadat and faramin along with our responsibility. Are we going to return back to Jamaat Khana as before, or are we going to return with more knowledge, more understanding, much improved, with lot of thoughts and shukr guzari in our heart? The question is, will we return back as we were before, or are we going to return with much more understanding of our batini tariqa? Let's look at this farman of Imam Maulana Shah Karim Hussaini Hazir Imam Salawatullah Alayhi, Golden Jubilee 2008, Chicago. Mullah says, happiness, whatever are the circumstances in which you are living. It sounds like Imam is talking about today. In the situation we are, and the rest of the country and the rest of the world are. But let's see what Mullah says about happiness within it, so that your thoughts and your soul for that short time are looking at matters which are not material, because it will bring you happiness. I am certain of that. Happiness, whatever are the circumstances in which you are living, so that your thoughts and your soul for that short time are looking at matters which are not material, because it will bring you happiness. I am certain of that. In the same line, in the early time of present Imam, back in 1967, at the Peshawar University convocation, Mullah speaking, and this one had brought lot of attention between the Ummah and especially within our Jamat. This statement that Mullah made in 1967. And most of us who were present at that time will remember this statement, because it was a powerful statement that Imam had made. The day we no longer know how, nor have the time, nor the faith, Iman, to bow in the prayer to Allah, because the human soul that He has told us is eternal, that Allah has told us is eternal, is no longer of significant importance to us to be worthy of an hour of our daily working, profit-seeking time. Will be a senseless day of despair. Very strong statement. In our lifetime, if there is ever a day, ever, that we are no longer have the time, nor the faith, to bow down to Allah and to remember Him for an hour, Mullah says, that will be a senseless day of despair, because we are busy in our daily working, profit-seeking time. Very, very strong, powerful statement from the present Imam in the early time of his Imamat. Mullah was addressing this to the Ummah at a convocation at the University of Peshawar. But this resonates with all of us, that if there is ever a day that we are too busy to give our 1 hour a day to go to Jamat Khana, to remember Mawla, to remember Allah, to offer our prayers, our shukr guzari, our sujood, then that would be a shameless day, especially for the murids and especially for the Muslims. We have few more faramin, because someone may say that, well, that was addressed to the Ummah, not to our Jamaat. In someone's mind, this can come that statement was not to us Ismailis, that was to others. And that would be a natural human reaction, that if it's not a farman, a direct farman to us, then it probably doesn't concern us. But most of us know Imam's word to a murid are like a farman, regardless of where he deliver those words. May it be at a Christian world, northern hemisphere, eastern world, within the Ummah, within the Aga Khan University or others. Imam words to us, to the murids, are the words, precious words, guidance, and holds lot of blessings for those who would like to follow Imam's every single word. But having said that, we have some faramin in front of us regarding happiness. Direct farman. I will read some of this faramin in its totality and some just highlighted part, and then we can share this faramin with the listeners and they can read this afterward as a personal search. Again, in the same farman of Golden Jubilee, April 2008, the world around us and the world in which you are living is a strongly material world, but I would like my Jamaat to keep in mind that in this material world, the ethics of our faith are essential to happiness and unity, and to a sense of balance in the life that you lead. Understand and practice the ethic of faith, of brotherhood, of generosity, of dignity, of honesty. Ethic become the ethics of everyday life. And I am absolutely certain that if you follow the ethics of Islam, ethics of our faith, you will find happiness. Whatever are the circumstances in which you are living. Doesn't it sound like some farman from today's time? Because Murid and the Jamat go through so much during their lifetime that we can take this farman and apply to each one of us in whatever circumstances we are living in. And what would be the better example of this farman than today's time? But inshallah, as the Ismaili, as the Murid of the Imam, we are happy because we have a living and present Imam with us. Our faith, our prayers are with us. Our daily practices, our Isme Azam, our Ibadat is with us, regardless of the place, open or closed. We are continuing to practice our faith. Our faith, our Iman never left us. Look at how fortunate we are, how shukr guzar we should be, how thankful we should be that Imam has prepared us, the Murids, Ismailis, the Jamat, to be happy in all circumstances, in all events, in all places, in all time. Imam is here to guide us, and he has truly have prepared the Jamaat for this kind of circumstances. Then our faith, we never left. Our Kriya, we never left. We never left any of that. We are practicing and we will continue to practice. Inshallah. The next farman is the same farman but next paragraph. You are busy, but being busy is not a good reason to give up the practice of your faith. And inshallah we have not. Inshallah we have not. And this is one of those farman that our Jamaat has truly followed, especially during this time. We are doing more today, faith-wise, practice-wise, ilm and knowledge-wise than we ever done it in our lifetime. All of you who are on this line right now, think back. When was the last time on a weekend we have gathered to remember Mullah, to listen to his true knowledge, to learn about our Jamaat Khana and our practices and our rites and ritual and the batin of our tariqah, How many times have we got together like this before? Listen to this one paragraph and be happy, be thankful, be shukr guzar that Imam has truly guided us to stay intact and practice on daily basis more than ever before. And inshallah, going forward, when Jamat Khanas are open, we will continue to learn and practice, learn and apply, learn and move forward, inshallah, inshallah, inshallah. Let me read this beautiful paragraph from this farman. You are busy, but being busy is not a good reason to give up the practice of your faith. There are societies that are busy, there are societies that are less busy. But if you have difficulty, keep a tasbih with you and simply call on the tasbih for 10 seconds, 5 seconds, 30 seconds. Ya Allah, Ya Ali, Ya Muhammad. So that your thoughts and your soul for that short time are looking at matters which are not material, because it will bring you happiness. I am certain of that, Mullah says. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammad. This is the paragraph to remember and obey and go by and to follow. We should lead our life in this manner, in this paragraph, in this farman. There is a ayat in Surah Al-Araf, Surah number 7 in Quran, ayat number 172. Khudawan Ta'ala in Quran says, and remember, when your Lord brought forth from the loins of the children of Adam their descendants, and had them testify regarding themselves, he asked, am I not your Lord? And they replied, you are, indeed you are, we testify. And listen to this last line. What did Khudawan Ta'ala in Quran cautioned the readers, the Mu'mineen who reads Quran, and then go back to that farman we just read and see, does this ayat and that farman matches or not? Now he cautions, now you have no right to say on Judgment Day, we were not aware of this, that we were not aware of this. Now look at this farman to match with that. On the Day of Judgment, other communities have an excuse that they were unaware. And what Allah said, that on that day, now you have no right to say on the Judgment Day, we were not aware of this. And Mullah Bapa says, other communities have an excuse that they were unaware of the Satpandeen, you Arabs, Badakhshanis, Khojas, momnas, and other smileys, suspendinis will not be able to make any excuse. Because Imam had reminded us that you have a 10-second, 5-second, 30 seconds, remember your Lord. Ya Allah, Ya Ali, Ya Muhammad, so that your thoughts and your soul for that short time are looking at the matters which are not material, because it will bring you happiness. I am certain of that. And this is the hope and prayer, that as we go back to Jamat Khana, we will not remember that our tariqah, our religion does not start with Jamat Khana and ends with Jamat Khana, but our tariqah and our religion is of 24 hour, of day and night. Suta beta chalanta Sahib Juno naam lijiye. Standing, sitting, or sleeping on your back, remember your Mola. Regardless of the timing, regardless of the duration of the remembrance, it could be as small as 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 30 seconds. Remember. The next farman is on the same line. Mullah says, if after death a person thinks that he would give a reply that someone has deceived my ruh, and then such excuse will not work. We will not be able to go and say, as we will have no excuse. Because you are not a beast. You are a human being. Khudawand Ta'ala has given you intellect and thinking power. Then why do you not use your intellect and do not think? Inshallah Ta'ala. And there are some more ginans on the same line. I can read the translation for you, and of course we will share this document so you can read this, find this ginans. There is a reference right there. In the first verse 11, those who intentionally got astray will not get any place in Akhirat. He who accepts husband but does not follow is a fool. O my brother, Pir Sahib says, O my brother, practice religion so that you may reach to the other shore. I'd like to play an audio which someone shared with this Nachis in our previous session. It's a beautiful audio of Mullah Papa's Farman in his own Mubarak words. Let's listen to it with Salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammad.
My beloved spiritual children, to all my spiritual children here, and to your families and to your Jamat, I give my warmest, my most affectionate, and my best loving blessings. Khana Vadan, Khana Vadan, Khana Vadan. My beloved spiritual children, in the last days, I have in several farmans mentioned to you what is the meaning, what is the purpose of education within the Islamic context. And I want to try to relate in this Farman. My beloved spiritual children, to all my spiritual children here, and to your families and to your Jamat, I give my warmest, my most affectionate, and my best loving blessings. Khana, Khana, Khana. My beloved spiritual children, in the last days, I have in several farmans mentioned to you what is the meaning, what is the purpose of education within the Islamic context. And I want to try to relate in this Farman that notion of education in the Islamic context to service for your brothers and sisters.
I'm sorry, there is too much echo. I'm sorry, I'm not able to play as there is too much echo. This was a beautiful Farman of Mola Bapa in which he talks about why do we have to listen to all this knowledge, learn this ilm. Mola Baba is saying that this ilm, this knowledge, may it be the worldly knowledge or otherwise, is there for your benefit, for the benefit of your Jamaat and benefit of your community around you. Do not just have the knowledge for the sake of making money, but to benefit others. So inshallah, we will try again in our morning session. Let's come back to and get into our practice and purpose session. The very first thing we have, where we had left off previous week, last week, in our session, and that was, we were talking about dua karani and asking for forgiveness. And someone had asked about the different sin. So we will continue with that today. So dua karani and asking for forgiveness. There are different kinds of sins that we commit, and we had talked about the sin, the mistakes that we commit knowingly and some unknowingly, some willingly and some unwillingly. But when you are standing in front of Mukhi Sahib and asking for forgiveness, the first niyat should be, first understanding should be, and that is acceptance of your mistake. Sometimes we hear, but I have not made any mistake. Why am I asking for forgiveness? Or I may have made a mistake, but I don't even know what mistake I have made. So how do I ask for forgiveness? That is the common question we hear all the time. That's why we wrote down there are mistakes and sins that we commit knowingly, unwillingly, willingly, knowingly or unknowingly. But if you are standing in the front of the Mukhi Sahib, if your niyat is, if your understanding is that I must have committed some sin, I know of this 1, 2, 3, and there are maybe others which I don't even know, then have a niyat. Have a talk with Mola Bapa before you get to Mukhi Sahib in the line. And this is very important. The line in which you are standing of dua and you are about to present yourself in front of the Amar of the Imam, Mukhi Sahib, this is not the place to talk, have fun, laughter. ये मस्ती मजाक की जगह नहीं है. आप अभी इमाम के अमर के सामने जाने वाले हो. You are about to go into the front of the Amar of the Imam, asking for the forgiveness of your sin. If you are not serious about it, you are not even thinking about it, that what you are about to do, how will you have a niyat? How will you have an understanding? Please, my brothers and sisters, think about this when you are in that line. If Mola Bapa was sitting there and you were going in front of him asking for forgiveness, will you have a laughter? Will you be joking? Will you be talking? What will you be doing? Be mindful of that. Be mindful. There are sin that we know of, there are sins of others, and there are sins that we commit against our own soul. Let's talk about this a little bit, because this was a question that sometimes we may hurt someone, but then we never get opportunity to ask for forgiveness. How do we deal with that? What about you hurt someone and you never know until much, much later that because of your whatever action, knowingly or unknowingly, willingly or unwillingly, you had hurt someone in the past. Now the years have gone by, months have gone by, days have gone by, and you never had opportunity to ask for forgiveness. If you have opportunity, do ask for forgiveness. But if you don't, then Imam is merciful, Imam is Rahman and Rahim. If you have a niyat in your heart, and you ask Mola Bapa to forgive your sin, and as you remember hurting someone, you think of that. And if you are regretful, you feel shame, and you regret, and you promise that Mola Bapa, I am sinful, I will not do this again. I know what I have done wrong, I will not do it again. Then you will find him merciful. He will forgive you your sin. Imam wants to do good by you. He wants to send His mercy on your soul. If you ask, you will find Him there. Merciful, Rahman and Rahim. The sin against our own soul. What is that? Have we ever thought about that? There is a Quranic ayat, is right there on your screen. Surah 81, ayat number 8 and 9. In which Allah says, on the day of Qiyamah, your soul in the front of Allah will ask you, why did you bury me alive? What did I do? What harm did I have done to you? Why did you bury me alive in yourself? What are the sin of the souls? If we don't feed our soul, just like our body requires nourishment, our soul requires ibadat, bandagi, remembrance, dua, tasbih, giryawazari. And if we do not do that, or if we have not fed our soul on daily basis, just like we feed our mouth 3-4 times a day, have we thought of our soul 3-4 times a day? Have we given the nourishment to our soul? Or have we buried our soul in ourselves and we have forgotten about her? We have completely forgotten about her. Khuda na khasta, if we have, God forbid, then our soul in front of Allah on the day of judgment will ask, what did I do to you? Why did you bury me alive? Because our soul is alive, remember that. Our soul is alive and our soul needs nourishment, as when you are alive, you need nourishment. For your body, your soul needs nourishment for the improved herself to reach to its original position. It needs giryawzari, needs ibadat bandagi, tasbiyat. Do not forget your soul. Do not forget that your soul is alive in you. Think of her and think for her salvation. Do not commit this sin. So when you are in front of Mukhi Sahib again, ask for forgiveness. That if I have ever neglected my soul, if I have ever neglected to think of my soul and its salvation, then Ya Mola Bapa, please forgive me for that as well. The next portion we have covered, but someone had asked to explain this part again, the difference between Nandi, Memani and Awal Sufro. And she said the Nandi on the Mukhi Sahib's part. So there is an additional portion to this, and this will be the last thing we're going to cover in today's session, and then again we will start in the morning and we will move forward in the Niyaz and Chanta and Chandras, etc. Think of the Nandi. When you take the Nandi to Jamat Khana, you are cooking something at home, or if you are at the grocery store buying something and all of a sudden you want, with the love of the Imam, wanted to share the food that you have cooked or the food that you have just bought. You want to share that with the Imam, so you take the Nandi to Jamat Khana. Then that Nandi is auctioned off. When you take the Nandi, Nandi is absolutely free, and the money you are giving is your good deeds. It counts in your good deed. But in return, you receive the tray, the bowl of food. Do not use that word that I bought Nandi. You did not buy Nandi. You could not buy Nandi. You don't have enough money to buy Nandi. Because Nandi is the food that you offer to Imam Zaman with the love. How are you going to buy the Nandi that you offer with the love to the Imam Zaman? You don't have enough money to buy that. So money that you give, that you put in, is your good deeds. It counts in your good deed. And the food that you receive is the blessing for you. Do not use the word that I bought this Nandi. That is the incorrect understanding. But in action of the Nandi is that you give some money as a good deed, as a male wajibat, and in return you receive the blessing of the food which someone had offered to the Imam Zaman. Difference between Nandi and Memani. In Memani, you still offer the money as a male wajibat to the Imam as a good deed, but in this action, you do not receive anything in return. You do not receive their milk or the fruit. And the third, Awal Sufra. And I believe the Awal Sufra is the most beautiful Kriya in our rites and rituals. Because when you do the Awal Sufra, not only you give the money as a good deed for yourself, but for the entire Jamaat. What are you saying? You are saying that on the behalf of the Hazreen Jamaat, Mola Bapa, I like to offer you Awal Sufra. The very first food that you will eat for lunch or dinner or breakfast, I like to offer this on the behalf of the Jamaat. What a great deed a person do. This is not a selfish reason. You do not get a bowl of food. Memani, you do not receive the personal Khana Vadan. But Awal Sufra, the Khana Vadan, the blessing is for all the Jamaat. You are doing something for your brother and sister unconditionally without asking anything in return. Unconditionally, totally unconditional act, a good deed. An act of good deed on the behalf of your brother and sister for the Hazreen Jamaat. What a beautiful act of good deed. And you don't ask anything in return. It's totally unconditional. Totally unconditional. And those who does that, I salute you. I have admiration for you. Because you are the one who brought blessing of the Imam Zaman to entire Jamaat, to the entire Jamaat, entire Jamat that were present in Jamat Khana at that time. And the Rohani, which was not present, but you brought the dua for our Rohani, our parents, and our relatives. What a great deed. What a great action. Admire those people who does that. Do not be jealous of them. Admire them. Salute them. Our salam to you, my brother and sister. So let me stop here, and inshallah tomorrow morning we will start with the niyaz and chanta, and we will try to cover Friday and Chandrat inshallah ta'ala. Ji. Do we have any question?
We have a couple questions in the chat. First question is, when we are going in sajda, is there a prayer we have to say?
We normally in the sajda is the action of shukr guzari. There can be different du'as that one can do depending on your niyat and the need, but first and foremost, sajda should be the part of shukr guzari by saying Shukranillah walhamdulillah, and maybe the name of the Imam, Nur Maulana Shah Karim Hussaini Hazir Imam. And then definitely you should have niyat of a dua. Whatever your niyat is, whatever your need is, whatever your prayers are at that moment of sajda. Because that is the beautiful tradition between a mu'min and the murshid, the murid and the murshid. Sajda could be sajda of the love to come near the Imam Zaman. Sajda could be sajda of shukr guzari, definitely. And sajda could be sajda of the need and prayers. What is your niyat? That's the dua you should say. One cannot recommend a dua for you. What is your niyat? What is your need? What is your heart is saying at that time? I know a lot of people go to sajda and have a Giriya Zari, have a talk with Imam. Sajda, Giriya Zari, and talking to Imam is a beautiful tradition of our dais and peers. Sajda is multi-purpose. Sajda is a multi-purpose. Ji.
Another question is, what is Pirji? I think the person wanted to say Pirji Mehmani. What is Pirji Mehmani?
I have not heard of this term, Pirji Mehmani. Molaji Mehmani I have heard. I have not heard of Pirji Mehmani, so I'm sorry I cannot comment on something I don't know. I have not heard of this term.
One more question is that if we shouldn't say we bought Nandi, so what would be the correct way to say it? Like, you got Nandi, or what do you say?
I received the blessing of the Nandi. I have heard our elders saying that, and I never understood as a child. When they would have a Nandi, they will say, I have the blessing of the Nandi. What a beautiful understanding and saying. Because Nandi is the offering of the love to the murshid from a murid. That is the blessing that you are taking home. So that would be the correct understanding, a blessing of Nandi. Ji.
Another, I think that same person responded that maybe African people do it, and it's called Pirji Mehmani or Pirji Mani. Very common, so I'm not sure, but
Pirji Mani, yes. Pirji Mani is a term that I have heard, in some of the Jamaat. So in our old days, when we had peers present and was giving dawat to the Jamaat, just as we take the Nandi to the Jamat Khana for the Imam Zaman, they will take another piece of bread, one or two mani, not memani but mani means bread, for the peer of the time. Peer ji, mani means the food for the peer. I do know that in some of the Jamaat Khana, they still have the tradition and they believe that we should take some food as a thanks to our peer to bring us into Satpant in our true religion. Yes, that's what that is. Thank you for clarifying. Thank you.
Another question is, what is to recite in standing tasbih?
Are we talking about Giri Awzari tasbih? Are we talking about individual tasbih? Remember, one thing which we are missing, a complete point, and that is that all the tasbihat, all the extraordinary ibadat, all the extraordinary actions of Giri Awzari, of supplication or the offerings are between Murid and the Murshid. Do not let anyone tell you what to say and what to do. What do you feel like today? What is your heart telling you? I remember talking about this in one of our session of the Isme Azam and Ibadat. Today, your heart may be more melted than yesterday. Today, maybe you wanted to call your Mola, my Janan, my love, my dear Mola Bapa. Today, maybe my heart wanted to call Mola Bapa my friend. Today, I just wanted to call Mola Bapa Mola, my master. And I feel like a slave. So you call Mola and yourself a slave. What is your heart telling you? This is a so personal matter. Do what your heart tells you to do to remember your beloved. I know people want others to tell them what to do. Even if I tell you something, it may be 50% correct, but I would say, and this is my truly humble opinion, what is your heart telling you? Today you feel like Ya Ali Muhammad, then that is your tasbih. Today you feel like Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim, that is your tasbih. Today you feel like Salawat, that is your tasbih. If you want as simple as Ya Mola, Ya Mola, Ya Mola, Pirsha, 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 then that is your tasbih today. Follow your heart. It is between you and your Mola. Do not let anyone tell you how to communicate with your beloved. Talk to him in the language, in the words you like to talk to him. That is my humble opinion, and this is my answer to you. Thank you.
I don't see any more questions in the chat. If any friends have any questions, they can come forward.
Oh, Yali Madad, dear brother, it's Hani. How are you?
Yali Madad.
I just caught the end of this, and there was a question about sajud. So in the chat, I put there was a farman by Maulana Sultan Muhammad Shah Ali Salam. He said, when you go into prostration, sajida, beseech, O God, make us reach our origin, Asal Makan, like a child who, when gets separated from his mother, when he is lost, he cries, when can I reach my mother's side? You to become as such. You have been lost in the world, you must weep from a heart. So this farman is in the book, the 313 book. I put the link there.
Thank you.
Shukran, Mawla.
Thank you. Any other question? If there is no more question, thank you everybody for joining us. Inshallah, we will see you everyone 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, Dallas time, Central Standard Time.
Yali Madad, hello.
Thank you, Yali Madad.
Thank you, and Yali Madad.
Yali Madad, Yali Madad.
Yali Madad. Yali Madad.
Yali Madad, thank you everybody, Yali Madad.
Thank you, Yali Madad.
Yali Madad, Yali Madad.